Big trades this week, including one from today involving the Eagles. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, Laura, a short time ago, the Carolina Panthers traded Andy Dalton to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 2027 seventh-round draft pick. Dalton is somebody that the Eagles have had their eyes on for a while. Now they make that deal. He'll have to pass a physical, of course, but Dalton is headed to the Eagles. And a short time ago, the Denver Broncos asked Jalen Waddle on his physical. We keep bringing up the physical in light of everything that happened in the last week with Max Crosby. Waddle passed his physical. The trade is now official. He's the newest member of the Denver Broncos. The Dolphins get 3 draft picks back. The Broncos get back Waddle and 1 draft pick, and the Broncos have a new slot receiver to play opposite of Courtland Sutton. And also moments ago, Justin Fields passed his physical, and the trade is official with the New York Jets and the Chiefs. Fields goes to Kansas City for a future draft pick in the 2027 draft, a 6th-round pick. The Jets get back a pick for a player that they obviously were planning to move on from, and the Kansas City Chiefs get a backup to Patrick Mahomes, who's recovering from a torn ACL. Now take a look at this. Last year, from the start of the new league year to the NFL draft, there were 15 total trades. Already, in the last week, since the new year started 1 week ago, there have been 18 trades, including today's trade of Andy Dalton, but not including the one for Max Crosby. There already have been 3 more trades this year in 1 week than there were the entire offseason leading up to the draft last year, and we're not done yet. This league has gone trade crazy. It has picked up the intensity of trades. Trades have now become the norm. They've really caught on. This was a league that never did this in the past, but now trades are more prevalent than ever before, and the numbers are there to bear it out.
I love it. I think it's great for the league. I want to get your perspective on it, Adam, in just a moment. I know Adam likes it, right? He's tweeting out, he's breaking out all these newses. It's great. Lewis, it's plural news.
Are you right on that?
No, I don't think I'm right.
Sweet. I'm right.
Dadgummit. All right, Lewis, 18 trades so far already in the new league year. Why do you think trades are more of a thing than they were in the past?
Well, I think there's 2 reasons. One, I think timelines are condensed now as far as the amount of time that a lot of these GMs are being given to turn franchises around. I think, patience has run thin, and so guys are going to use every vehicle at their disposal, every method at their disposal to try and improve the football team. And one of the ways you can do that is by calling up your buddies and seeing if you can kind of work out a deal player for picks in a way that maybe you couldn't in the past. And the reason why, look, a lot of these GMs now, they've all come up through the ranks together. They were all either college scouts on the road who used to bebop from Oklahoma to Texas to Baylor to Texas A&M, down to Rice, down to Houston, and just make that trek throughout the country. And, you're having dinners together, late nights on the road, and, at truck stops, at restaurants, at little, Denny's restaurants, and then you're going in and watching tape together and talking about players, and you develop relationships. As you move up through the ranks, you become general managers. It's easier to pick up the phone and call a guy and say, hey, look, man, there's a guy who I have in mind who I really like on your roster. Maybe there's some people or some picks we're willing to get off up from us. I think this could help you. You could help me. And the friendship kind of allows you to kind of have that kind of conversation. And these are how these things kind of keep going, which I think is great because it's made it exciting for us. And it's made it easier, well, not easier, it's given them another way to kind of try and improve their football teams.
I wonder, so it's certainly a new philosophy. I wonder if it has a little bit to do with the 2027 draft, that everyone continues to just say, as much as you can set your organization up for whether it's picks or cap space or flexible contracts that you can unload or whatnot, young talent, that draft class has got the chance to be one of the best we've seen in a while. I think this is a different alternative to build your team now in regards to waiting on free agency and maybe overpaying free agency. It'd be great to see like a data collection of over the past 5 years of free agency has paid X amount of dollars to all these players. What players do we think prove that contract to be worthy or kind of the money doled out rather than to a trade? Compensatory picks, I would imagine that's part of this as well.
I would say this though. Look, we ourselves at ESPN have put together, research that says that the teams that have been very active in free agency, especially over the past couple of years, who have really come out and made splashes, they have kind of really improved their win total. And that does fly in the face of conventional wisdom.
Sure.
I've been on teams where we were very active in the first 24, 48 hours, and it didn't turn out to be anything near what you wanted it to be. It's feast or famine. Look, you just have to be very strategic with it when it comes to free agency. But I really do think it's the relationships that exist between these GMs right now that are allowing them to kind of do some of these moves.
Well, and so many people change spots, right? And so now they're saying, okay, well, I trust this player. I know what he's going to bring to the table. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to bring this guy in. It helps when he knows on the other side that the trade is possible. Adam, you brought this up to us, a full peek behind the curtain. This was something you wanted to get into today. Why do you think this is happening right now in the league?
Well, they're talking about the relationships. I think the biggest factor is that we have a new breed of GMs. It's a younger group of GMs. It's a more aggressive group of GMs. And when we look at some of the teams that have had the greatest success, they have not been afraid to make trades. If you see Micah Parsons dealt, if you see Sauce Gardner dealt, if you see Quinnen Williams dealt, then anybody could be dealt at any point in time. General managers, young and eager, they're not afraid to pick up the phone now and say, hey, what would you take for that particular player? We saw it this week with the Denver Broncos and Jalen Waddle. It's a copycat league, and it used to be, in my mind, in my world, the busiest times of the year were free agent week, draft week, and the week when the regular season ended and coaches were fired and hired. In the last few years, what has nudged its way into that list is the trade deadline. I think that right now has become as busy a time as free agency. If we look at the number of trades that have been made at the trade deadline in the last few years, it's skyrocketed. And so teams are used to making trades at the trade deadline. They've continued that into the offseason, into free agency, and the start of the new league year. And there's nothing that these general managers and front offices are afraid of anymore, because the best front offices are being active and aggressive in pursuing trades, so everybody else is.
Yeah, it makes me think of, did this start a little bit with almost like, you guys could speak to it greater than I, but Les Snead?
Yeah.
And it was like the whole F them picks era. And
it worked.
And it was all these trades, and it works out for both parties a little bit. And then I think it's a little bit attached to, some individual organizations that realize how good it is right now. I would reference Baltimore and Buffalo. Okay, we've got these quarterbacks. They're MVP winners. They're great players. We can't just sit on our hands. We've got to be, what Adam is referencing is maybe overly aggressive, because I don't want to be the general manager that has this guy and this roster and we don't get it done because maybe I didn't make that move.
Go, Adam.
The other thing is it's the other way of exploring a way to improve your roster. Teams, I believe, have gotten better and better at identifying young players that they want to keep and sign to long-term extensions. So if they're signing those players, then the free agent market isn't quite as strong. And when the free agent market isn't quite as strong, what can you do to improve your roster? You look to trades. And so you call teams and start inquiring about players. And that also has contributed to the uptick in trade activity in recent years.
Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, there's just two quick things I would say. The one thing that you don't want to do as a GM, though, is mistake activity for achievement, right? You just don't want to be making moves to make moves because everyone else is doing it. But the most important part to me is this. The teams that are really going ahead and really capitalizing on this, it's because they nailed the third phase of team building, which is development and utilization. That's what they nail. They are able to not only pull off these trades, but it's the coaching staff that then develop them and utilize these guys are the ones who are really saying, hey, they're making other teams go, hey, I want to get in on that. But you better just make sure that you have the same kind of competency in place to develop and utilize these guys that the teams that are right now knocking it out of the park.
You brought up the Bills, and we saw some of this aggressive nature even in the coaching cycle when guys said, listen, we're going to move on from coaches that we didn't necessarily expect to be moved on from. They wanted to make that change in these windows, especially with the quarterbacks. And Adam hinted at it. There's going to be more trades. Maybe A.J. Brown. Maybe there's some names out there. And we'll be all over it here on NFL Live. Coming up on ESPN.